everybody on it. Everybody in the world. Oh my gosh, look at what it is. A pregame logo? Are you kidding me? My God, it's been years since I've seen this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Presented by Fubo TV. You guys know them. Download. They're homies of us. That means they need to be homies of you. Give a middle finger to Comcast. Get them out of town. Get them out of here. Watch the #1 marketed Denver Nuggets team. Watch them on Fubo TV.
Fund Comcast ruining the RSN model.
You hear the DNVR bar. They are hyped up. I would call it nervous energy inside the bar tonight. Nervous,
I think
but excited.
Booing the show right now.
Yeah, it's a terrible show. Come on, do a better job of it. But guys, we have a great show for you. We're going to talk about what's it going to take for the Nuggets to win. They are going to win if. We're all going to have different answers, I think. Maybe we have the same answer. I don't know. Then we're going to talk about what's the most encouraging thing we could get out of tonight. I feel people are discouraged a little. How can we pick up all the vibes of one game? Then, of course, the man with the big old hat's going to make us money. But first, a man dressed to impress. It's Brendan Vogt.
Yeah, you guys didn't send me to Miami. That's not going to stop me.
It's not going to stop you.
I've got more Miami shirts in my closet than anyone alive. I'm ready to rock.
If you can't go to Miami, bring Miami to you.
That's right.
Over here, I got D-Line Co.
That's right, guys. I'm ready to watch this goddamn game. It's been a long goddamn time.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We've had to sit in it for so long. We finally don't have to sit in it anymore.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe it. And then over there, the big-headed man himself, Superstar Dev.
Someone said that Miami was the better team. That's Big Cat.
Big Cat.
They're not the better team. We're going to show them today.
Big Cat. He prepared. What did you come up with that one? Was that last night?
No, that was just right now.
Just right now, just on the fly.
Freestyle, baby.
Freestyle. I love it. All right, guys. The Nuggets are in Miami for Game 3. Michael Malone has addressed the media. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, short game notes today, guys, but we've got some. You might have noticed that all of the Nuggets were at Jeff Green's house for dinner the other night. Team dinner at Jeff Green's off-season Miami home, by the way.
I bet Jeff Green has a great life.
Yeah, NBA journeyman, you don't need to feel bad for them at all. Off-season Miami home. But the entire team went, Malone said, and it allowed everyone to reset, take a breath, and take the edge off. There was some frustration after Game 2.
Hell yeah,
there was time to stew in their frustration after Game 2. But Michael Malone went on to say that it could be a wake-up call because this group never ceases to amaze me. Talked about how they're handling that frustration in the context of a film session, and he said it was not an emotional film session. Those aren't going to get us anywhere. It was a constructive film session. We understand that the only way to get through this is together. So sounds like the guys were honest with each other about the breakdowns, frustrated with each other, but they came out on the other side knowing what needs to happen here to get a win in Game 3. Talked a little bit about the Kevin Love adjustment. He was quick to give Caleb Martin a lot of credit. Didn't want to make it seem like just taking that guy out of the lineup is what caused the change, but going big, 10 rebounds, those were big factors. Finally, just in terms of tactical stuff, not even really tactical, it's pretty basic and simple. He said it's all about separation for shooters, and Miami is doing an exceptional job finding separation for their guys, and we, Denver, need to do a much better job of preventing that separation. This is, their work is cut out for them, fellas. You know, they know what went wrong. They know what has to be better in Game 3, and we had a long wait, and it's been a long time, guys, since we've had to learn how will this team respond? How will this team respond? We'll get some answers tonight.
I thought you missed an interesting detail there. Just one here, but he was asked something about, I don't remember how it arrived here. He might have, sometimes Malone's asked a question, he steers it where he wants to go. When he's talking about Caleb Martin, could have been the Eastern Conference Finals player of the series in the last round, but guess what? He goes to the bench. Duncan Robinson finishes the fourth quarter. What a guy to sacrifice when he could have been the guy, and instead he goes to the bench and is willing to do that. And you think it was a question that didn't necessarily need him to go there, but he went there. Now, why would he have done that?
Now, why
would he have made a point to call out the professionalism of a player who has started, been the MVP of a series, and yet didn't play fourth quarter minutes? Any ideas?
Is it about culture?
It might be about culture.
About heat culture.
Might be something about heat culture.
Yeah. Might be
maybe
about,
trying to trick them into making a mistake.
No,
it's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. It might be foreshadowing.
Yeah, a little foreshadow Porter Jr., if you will.
Now, this is my thing for tonight, and if you guys have seen the list, you listened to the show the last couple of days, you know this. I think there is a chance tonight that Michael Porter sees a reduced minutes load. I mean, he played only 27 minutes last game. It was already there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Porter tonight has a better game than game 2, has what we all would consider a good game, makes his shots, doesn't make mistakes, and Michael Malone still elects to go to another lineup. Now, one of the reasons for that, and I'm not saying it will happen, I'm just saying I would not be surprised, and I think when I hear Malone say that, I'm like doubling down. I'm like, okay, all right, he's setting the table. Denver might need a second ball handler. Butler guarding Murray, not providing help, that's a win if he's not going to provide help. Denver needs to find ways to attack with Murray. Murray needs to have a better night. But one other way to take advantage is just draw Butler out of the play, run pick and roll with somebody else. Bruce Brown's your second best pick and roll ball handler. Not necessarily phenomenal at it, but better than anyone else. I just think there's a chance he needs to play more minutes tonight, and Michael Malone might go there. And I just feel, I mean, do you see what I'm saying now? Do you feel like Malone's setting the table?
Of course. I see that there, and we've talked about this, so it all makes sense. I will just say that I don't think offense was the problem in these 2 games, more so than defense. And in game 1, Michael Porter Jr. played 41 minutes. I think if he's rebounding and he's playing defense, he'll play high minutes again. I think if Malone feels like he has to get away from it for defensive reasons, he'll go to Bruce. This is rare for me. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't really see the value. Like, I don't think it's about getting that second ball handler out there. First of all, Bruce Brown in game 2, 0 assists, 3 turnovers. Second of all, I don't think offense is the problem. So if Mike's energy is right and his defense is on point, I think he plays. But it's a possibility.
I think it is, first of all, to be clear, I think it's a more of a defensive move. I think Bruce is probably a little bit better at the complex switches, this or that, and I think they feel more comfortable with him doing that. He did make some defensive plays. My point was more that I think they could look at Porter. If Porter goes 3 for 4 from 3 tonight, a lot of times we just say default he's playing because he's on. I wouldn't be surprised if he was 3 for 4 and doing everything right and they still default to something else. That's my only point.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not even saying they should. I'm just saying Michael Malone is setting the table.
We are about to play the most meticulously planned game of the Nuggets season. They've had the longest time to plan for it. There have been the most questions that have come up. There have been the most discussion about adjustments, what the Heat were doing. So I think the Nuggets probably are planning on doing something like, by their standards, pretty complex. And I would imagine rotations are at the heart of it.
Yeah. Let's move on now, guys, to our next segment, which is just simple. The Nuggets are going to win tonight if, Dev, fill in the blank.
The Nuggets going to win if they play a little bit of defense. They can't allow...
Just a little bit?
A little bit of defense. They can't allow Miami to hit every single shot. That was the difference in the last game. One team made all of their shots. One team didn't make a lot of shots, and it was mostly because of the defense that was played. One team had to work for their shots. The other one did not. So I think if they play some defense, you get out to a big lead. Not only do you open it up, but you can blow them out and get back in control. So defense is the name of the game.
Yeah, but he said just a little bit.
I think the Nuggets win tonight if the Heat think making Nikola Jokic a scorer is a good strategy. I think, and Jokic is in on it early on, and Jokic just decides to score early and often, and is able to use his aggression like we've seen him do in big moments where he just comes out, sets the table, sets the tone, starts scoring, and they're like, oh, this was a bad idea. Like, I love the discussion of make Nikola Jokic a scorer. I hope they do.
The thing is, last game, the Nuggets built a 12-point lead, but it was without Jokic. Even if he scores just 40, if you get a 10, 15-point lead early, but it's Jokic scoring, that's where you doubt it. Like last game, they didn't doubt it because that's not where they lost the lead.
Exactly. If they're just like, okay, he's going to be a scorer the whole time, they win.
You got to build a big lead. How many points can he score if they did that?
I still think Nikola Jokic, I know you're watching and on the court.
It is crazy.
Score 100 points. Do it tonight.
Nuggets will win tonight if
they get some stops, they play defense, they communicate on defense. I don't think as far as the championship rosters we've seen in recent memory, the Nuggets are elite. I think they're capable, and I think they weren't close to that level in Game 2. Those miscommunicated switches were a level we haven't seen since March, right, in terms of floundering around on defense. The offense will take care of itself. I believe that they can score. there are a lot of good talking points from game 2. I think if they communicate those switches, they're up 2-0 anyway. So for me, it's about defense, lock in on that end, and these shots will start falling. You'll always have Jokic. I trust the offense. Get some stops.
I'm with you. I'm going to come up with a secondary one here in a second, but for me, I honestly think that's it. Stops lead to transition points.
Yeah.
Denver's offense was good in the last game. The only reason it wasn't great is they never got to play on the break. And I don't even mean fast break. I just mean like you go to the other end and the other team has to cross match and now you get to work it. Denver almost never got to do that except for the one little stretch where they went on like a 19-2 run. Guess what? That wasn't a total fluke. Every time you get stops, you do get a chance to score on them, and Denver tonight just needs to be focused on the defensive end because I think they're going to be able to score no matter what. But if you can get some stops. Now, here's the thing. The Heat got mundered 14 times this year.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Including
That's a lot of
game 1.
munders. 3-11 in those games. They also got mundered 4 times in the playoffs, yes, including in game 1. So it is possible. This is a team that if you let them get comfortable, they will score. They will make shots. If you don't, they will do the opposite. Every issue in this series compounds on itself, and every success compounds on itself. So get stops, it compounds to also scoring. If I were to give you another one, though, I do think that this is an interesting Jamal Murray game.
Yep.
Because I think that they view him, people have been using the term head of the snake. That's not right. We all know that's Jokic. But Jokic is like a force of nature nobody can stop. You concede that point. Like he's going to score, which means Denver's going to be in the game. What's the next thing you can do? And it's, of course, Murray. And I thought Murray had a great fourth quarter, or like the final 4 minutes where he made some tough shots. But before that, it was a pretty sneaky, terrible offensive game. Credit Jimmy Butler. Tonight, he needs to punish. I thought Jimmy Butler played Murray, not necessarily to shut him down, but to disrupt his rhythm. Murray needs to recognize that and score, but without being overly aggressive. You need to break that. You always need to make a team change their game plan. They're not going to change it by him taking 30 shots tonight. They're going to change it by him understanding how to attack that and get to the up and spot and get the ball moving in the way that makes them say, okay, they figured it out. Murray has a lot of pressure on him tonight, and Butler, I think, knows that. So tonight, to me, a big Jamal Murray.
That makes me excited because he's passed these tests all playoffs long. Let's see what he's got.
And he's sneaky like Jokic in this one way. Jokic, I think, like learns guys and like thoroughly. Murray, though, I do think we'll see how they're guarding him and say, oh, I remember I can get this shot at this time, and all right, I just know I'm going to get to that spot and do my thing. That's how they will win.
Sure.
But if we go the other direction, what would be the most encouraging way that they could win tonight?
So I think the easiest way to placate Nuggets fans right now, as much as I keyed in on defense, I think it is shot making. I think there's a little uneasiness in the room right now, the proverbial room, because KCP and Michael Porter Jr. have not been involved in the success in this series. They're not the essential part of the offense, but Denver does have that kind of avalanche ability, Warriors-esque, if you will, of you blink and, oh man, it's 15. Those guys are where that comes from, in my opinion, outside of the two-man greatness. So defense is, I think, the key to getting this win. But if you want people to start puffing their chests out again, hit your three-pointers. Go on one of those runs where you just leave everyone in South Beach stunned.
Yeah. What about you, D-Line?
Yeah, I mean, they look like themselves. They win a game and they look like themselves.
Simple?
Yes.
But where does that most manifest itself?
It most manifests in Nikola Jokic not being the only reliable player on the Denver Nuggets. To piggyback off of all of these ideas, it's like Michael Porter Jr. hitting shots, not getting exposed, playing reasonable defense, if not good at times. Jamal Murray being the sidekick alongside Jokic the entire game, not just in crunch time. All of these guys, KCP hitting shots, just all of the guys that sort of like looked flustered and not themselves last game look like they are back to a level of comfort and control that we saw for the month leading up to this series.
Yeah.
For me, the most encouraging way would either be a 50-point performance from Jokic or a 10-point performance from Jokic.
Yeah.
And it's really just because the game plan is to make Jokic a scorer. If they win in a blowout with him only scoring 10, or if they win in a blowout with him scoring 50, it's like, okay, what do we do next? How do we get to the next part, and how do we adjust? We tried to give them the one thing that we think that we have strategically, and that didn't work for us, so now it's back to the drawing board. So I think either a 50-point game or a 10-point game is like the most encouraging for me.
Yep. I think that's right.
For me, it is this, because this is how I think this game might go. Denver got in rotation a lot, and they gave up a lot of threes. One way to stop that, I mean, you got to be better at your rotations, and I think that's Malone's point. Everybody's just got to be better, no mistakes. But the second way is if you say, you know what, we're just not going to help on Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
Let's see if Jimmy Butler is still the guy that got them those 50 pieces against the Bucks. Let's see if he's still that guy. It's a dangerous game to play. But to me, the most encouraging way Denver could win is if Aaron Gordon just guards him well. If that's the game plan, everybody knows it, and Jimmy Butler just comes up short the way so many players so far in this playoffs have when that's been the game plan. To me, that would be so encouraging because then it makes Miami go back to the drawing board. It's not just well, their shooters didn't make shots or, well, this or that. It's like, they realize they don't have to guard him that way. They can just allow that to happen. And it might, I'm not going to say it's a checkmate. It's too early in a series to say a checkmate, but it sure would be a big, big blow.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love that one. I think this is a big, if I had to power rank the guys I think are feeling the most pressure tonight to perform, I mean, I think that, or I shouldn't even say feeling the most pressure. The guys that I think can really win the games tonight. Aaron Gordon's defense on Jimmy Butler might be number one. Bruce Brown, I think, is going to get a lot of minutes and he needs to make his floaters. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to get that floater and to get just different plays. And then Michael Porter, of course, making shots when he has them. That's going to be big. And then lastly, Jamal Murray. I think Denver can win without Murray going off, but if he does go off and break them, it's like throw everything else out, man. Throw everything out. I'm excited, man. I'm nervous.
I know, man. There's a lot going on. This is wild. These shows, you just feel the anxiety. I feel the anxiety because it's like everybody is so plugged in. Truthfully, no one cares that we're doing a show, which is wild. Everybody's very interested in watching the game. They're not really interested in the fact that we're trying to do this. But you know what? We power through, dude.
I can't hear you. To your
I know.
point,
We can't. Nobody cares. It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the part then where we make bets on the game and listen to the guy who wears a silly hat. We'll listen to him with our investment advice.
Yeah, let's get some serious advice from.
So we got to this early for you guys that need the early bets. Here we go. So Denver comes into this one as a 3-point favorite.
Let's go.
And that is on the road. You got to think about it. This is a team that just came off of a loss. They're on the road. They're still favored in this game. 3-point favorites. You know what? I'm going to take it. I think Denver is going to blow them out.
Whoa.
You heard me. It's going to be a blowout. So we're going to take
smokes,
the -3. I like the -3.
You get a little big-headed over there, bro.
Dude, I am getting big-headed. I'm starting to fit into my hat. You know what I'm saying? I also think that this goes differently than other games. I think that this is going to be a over type of game. 213.5 is the line. I think it's going to be an over. You could also jump in and get, Denver's scoring. I think that the team points for Denver is a good one there. So I do like that. We unfortunately have to go to the Nuggets. I mean, the Miami side of things.
We don't have to
We have to go to Miami side of things. For Miami, 1-9 that just makes no sense to me because it just feels like he hits every single shot that he takes. And I feel like he knocks him down every single time. It's going to be Gabe Vincent. His line is only 13.5 on points. That's too low. He's been scoring. He's a good scorer. He's actually better than I thought he was. I'll be honest there. So I like the over on that.
Man, great bet. Love that one.
I also think we're going to stick with the Bam. It hasn't not hit every single time. So, we're going to stick with what's been working. So, Bam's points, rebounds, and assists is 32.5. I'll take that as well. He's talented. He's good. Now on to Denver's side of things.
All right, Jesus. Yeah, let's go, dude.
There you go. It's as if you guys haven't done this before. All right, whatever. I expect Denver to go with Bruce Brown in this one. I think he's going to score. I think he's been bringing it, and he's going to have more minutes. His line is only 10.5. I think he gets the 10.5 points. Dev likes on that one. AG's over 12.5 points. This is where he has to be aggressive. This is where he has to punish Kevin Love.
Man, this is my heart bet because I don't know if I can feel it, but I like it.
I like it, and I actually think he's going to hit it because it was on him not being aggressive. Kevin Love is not a defender. He's just not. So I think the 12.5 is really easy for him. MPJ has not been good. And the reason for that is just because he's not making shots. He's been doing other things. Last game was the only game that he didn't play good defense. I think he's going to knock down shots in this one. I'm going to go over 2.5 3-pointers. I think we're going to hear a lot of Mike.
Let's go.
That would make me very happy.
Jamal over an assist. 6.5. It's been hitting every time. He's getting 9, 10. It's 6.5. He's going to get it. You could get the same game parlay at 7. That's one that I really, really like. Now for my lock, the lockiest of locks.
The lockiest?
I'll never wear this hat again if this doesn't hit.
Oh, wow. What a
Lockia?
The good thing is I know it's going to hit. The lock is Jokic over 28.5 points.
Really?
They're going to try to turn him into a scorer. You know what he's going to do?
Be a scorer.
He's going to score.
Yeah.
You can't turn a guy into a scorer and you're not really an offensive team. If you want him to go for 50, that puts you on the other end of the 8 ball. I just think that that's a tough spot for them to be in. I think he's going to score at least 40 in this game. Also, it's going to come with a win, so I want them to just get rid of that. When they score 40, they don't win. Shut up. They're going to win the game. So
Yeah,
I'm expecting a monster scoring game from them. We're going to hit all our bets, y'all.
Woo, I love that.
Do we have the same game parlay?
All right. First off, there's a bonus available for all same game parlays throughout the playoffs. Make sure you get it. It's I think a 100% bonus. So I have 4 picks, 4 legs.
Let's do it.
The perfect animal.
Really?
Yeah. Number 1, Nikola Jokic, 1 3-pointer made. He's been shooting threes a lot.
It's a great point. Great take.
He's been shooting a lot. We just need to get him to get 1. I feel good about that.
Man, minus 310 for 1 is wild, but I'm still with you. He'll
We're
hit
just
it.
building it. It's the weakest of the leg. It's like the one.
But I'm saying, I just think that's kind of crazy.
It
But
is
you are
crazy.
right. He is going to hit one.
It is
so.
crazy. Number 2, Michael Porter Jr. I believe in Mike. I believe he's going to hit 2+ 3-pointers this game. It's a very reasonable expectation for such a transcendent shooter. You can't keep a guy like Mike down for too long.
You really
He's going to
can't.
hit his goddamn threes. I believe this. Nikola Jokic, 25+ points.
Easy.
Even if they don't make him a scorer, he's going to score 25. I mean, he's going to score 25. It's going to happen. And then the last one that I love is Jamal Murray over 7.5 assists. He's been getting 10 every single game so far. It's been a really big part of his game. So all 4 of those I feel exquisitely comfortable with.
Get a little bonus.
That'll net you plus 340 on its own. You get a 25% bonus, which will take you up to plus 425 all day.
I've got it. I'm locked in.
All day.
I'm locked in. Fellas, ladies, we got ourselves a big game. Game 3, tied 1-1. Nuggets in Miami. Let's find out exactly what they're made of. We also have a great watch-along. The lovely Liv Moods is in the house today. She's going to be watching along with us here at the bar. We've got a rockin' bar crowd that I think is going to be fantastic. So give us 5 minutes. We're going to be over on the watch-along. Hit that like button on the way out.
Hit that like, baby. See you in the Winners Lounge.